Lanka limits China's role to pacify India. www.cnh.com Sri Lanka limits China's role to pacify India. The Chinese-built southern Sri Lankan port of Hambantota, strategically located on the world's busiest sea lanes in the Indian Ocean, has woken up the somnambulists in India as the military standoff with China at Doklam gains greater salience. Therefore, there was not a little relief felt here when last Tuesday Colombo officially decided to revise its agreement with China on the management of the port in a direction that would leave the overall port security matters to Colombo, permitting the Chinese a major say only in commercial operations. This was in response to concerns raised not just by India but also Japan and the US that the Chinese-built major port facility might be put to military use by Beijing. The terms of revision are not yet public, but it has been reported that the Hambantota project will be divided into two parts. In the part dealing with commercial operations, China will have 85% stakes, and on the side concerned with security uses of the port, Colombo will have 50.7% of the stakes. No pragmatist can afford to derive too great a sense of relief from an arrangement of this nature, which, really speaking, appears to be in the nature of a placebo, meant to calm nerves without being the real medicine. Sri Lanka has a debt crisis as well as a balance of payments crisis on its hands. Beijing has the potential to exploit the situation and steamroller its way in dealing with Colombo through a mix of carrot and stick. China has built a port in Djibouti on the Horn of Africa, and is at various stages of completion of port facilities in Gwadar on Pakistan's Makran coast, Hambantota, Bangladesh and Myanmar. This network potentially serves its maritime Silk Road concept as well as docking stations, string of pearls, for ships of war. There was much negative excitement in India when a Chinese submarine docked in Colombo back in 2014. Fortunately, Indian concerns were noted by Sri Lanka and the Chinese also made appropriate noises, as the game was just starting and Beijing had no wish then to make a big splash. But a strategy planner is duty bound to look only at the availability of strategic assets and capabilities and not empty statements of nations. And the outlook from the Indian perspective will need much fixing. This can take various forms, the building of effective alliances as well as investing in infrastructure in friendly countries. In the latter respect, it has to be conceded that in India what we know best is to repent at leisure. The Hambantota port, which the Chinese built at an estimated cost of $1.5 crore, had been first offered to India by the Sri Lankans, but we found ourselves to be lethargic. Comments. Visit website. Mandatory patriotism. www.cnh.com Mandatory patriotism. A judge of the Madras High Court has ruled that the patriotic song Vande Mataram should be sung in all schools and colleges in Tamil Nadu at least once a week and in offices and factories at least once a month. While it's possible to see a nationalistic streak in the mental makeup of the judge, it is open to question whether doses of patriotism should be made mandatory and their rendition circumstantially specified even in the form of the immensely lovable lyrics of a song akin to a bugle call signifying the cry for national freedom. In its eyebrow-raising ruling last year, the top court had spoken of constitutional patriotism, while declaring that the national anthem should be played in cinema theatres before the screening of films. There too the intention seemed to ace the logic of compelling millions to comply. The point is we seem to be confusing patriotism with symbols of nationalism. While the former should be firmly embedded in the mind of every Indian rather than worn on the sleeve, the display of the latter should be a matter of individual choice. In the order on Vande Mataram, the judge has contradicted the stand of the top court that there is no such concept as a national song. It is interesting that the issue should crop up now, triggered as it was by a teacher aspirant's petition on the origins of the song. He claimed a mark in a test paper for saying that the song was written in Bengali, a line of argument that was upheld by the people the judge turned to for historical guidance. There is no Indian who would not love to hear the inspirational verses. Making it singing or playing mandatory is an altogether different matter. Comments. Visit website.